Is Ferrari finally about to deliver the upgrades that Lewis Hamilton and millions of F1 fans have been waiting for? And with the pressure mounting on Fred Vasseur, could this be a defining moment for Ferrari's season? Let me know in the comments. Do you think these upgrades will actually fix Ferrari's problems, or is it just more false hope? I'm curious to hear what real fans like you think about all this. Right now, Ferrari finds itself at a crossroads. For months, we've been hearing whispers of major upgrades. First, it was supposed to happen at Silverstone. Now, there are talks that new parts might arrive as soon as the Austrian Grand Prix. But with every passing race, that promise feels more like a moving target. The frustration isn't just building in the fanbase, it's clearly being felt inside the team too. Lewis Hamilton hasn't exactly hidden his feelings. His recent comments suggest there's more happening behind closed doors than the public sees. He admitted there are things going on in the background he wishes he could tell us. Things that, in his words, would explain the problems they've had this year. That doesn't sound like a man confident in the current situation. It sounds like someone who sees the mountain Ferrari needs to climb. And then there's Fred Vasseur, the man at the centre of it all. Taking over Ferrari was never going to be easy, but right now, the pressure on him is at boiling point. The media are circling, the fans are frustrated, and even within the team, people are asking tough questions. Ferrari promised big steps forward this season, but when you look at Red Bull, Mercedes, and especially McLaren, all of them have already introduced major upgrades. Ferrari, still waiting. It's not hard to see why fans are growing impatient. This isn't just about performance, it's about trust. Can Ferrari finally turn potential into real results? Can they give Hamilton the car he needs? Can they convince Charles Leclerc his future belongs in red? Or are we about to watch yet another year slip through their fingers? That's the real question. And, with Austria and Silverstone just around the corner, we're about to get some answers. But until then, it's all eyes on Maranello. And that brings us to the real story behind all the frustration. Ferrari's upgrades, or rather, the constant wait for them. For months now, all anyone in the F1 world has been talking about is this so-called major upgrade package Ferrari has promised. It's been the same story every few weeks. First, the big news was everything would arrive at Silverstone. That was meant to be the moment Ferrari finally turned the tide and showed they could fight at the front. But as the season has dragged on, even that timeline has started to look shaky. Now, Fred Vasseur himself has hinted some parts could show up earlier, possibly even at the Austrian Grand Prix. But here's the thing, fans have heard that before. These promises of upgrades have almost become a running joke in the paddock. Meanwhile, the other top teams haven't been sitting around waiting. Red Bull has already introduced updates. Mercedes, despite all their struggles, brought a big package recently, and it clearly helped them take a step forward. And then there's McLaren, who not only brought upgrades, but also managed to get them working quickly, putting them right in the fight for wins. Ferrari, on the other hand, seems stuck in the same spot, full of potential, short on delivery. And it's not just frustrated fans noticing this. Even their own drivers are starting to show signs of impatience. While other teams are busy improving their cars, Ferrari has fallen behind, and everyone inside and outside the garage knows it. It's no surprise all this uncertainty has caught the attention of Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton hasn't tried to sugarcoat anything. He's made it clear all is not well behind the scenes at Maranello. In fact, in one of his recent interviews, he openly admitted, "There's a lot happening. Things I wish I could tell you. There are a lot of changes to be made." That kind of honesty says a lot. Hamilton isn't the type to stir the pot without reason. His subtle remarks, especially about the upgrades, speak volumes. You can sense the growing impatience, not just from the fans, but from within the team itself. Everyone's asking the same question. If Ferrari has the parts ready, what's the hold-up? Why does it feel like they're stuck in this cycle of promises without action? And for Hamilton, a man known for demanding the best, that's got to be frustrating to watch. And at the centre of all this pressure sits Fred Vasseur, the man tasked with turning Ferrari around. Vasseur himself has tried to calm the storm. He insists it's not just about having a fast car, it's about execution. In his own words, we'll have an upgrade soon before the UK, and perhaps another one a bit later. But fans have heard this before, and so have the people inside the paddock. With no major upgrades showing up yet and rivals like Red Bull, Mercedes and McLaren pushing ahead, it's only natural people are starting to wonder, can Ferrari actually keep up? Or is this just another season of empty promises? The clock is ticking, and the pressure on Vasseur isn't going away anytime soon. And when you look at the technical side of things, it becomes even clearer why Ferrari is struggling to keep up. The SF-25, their current car, has shown glimpses of potential, especially when it comes to race pace. On Sundays, they've managed to stay in the fight at times, but the real problem starts much earlier in the weekend. Their qualifying performance has been a constant weakness, and that's putting them on the back foot before the race even begins. It's hard to compete at the front when you're starting from the middle of the grid, and Ferrari knows that all too well. But it's not just qualifying that's hurting them. One of the most worrying problems this season has been with rear plank wear, an issue that's already embarrassed the team in front of the whole world. Fans will remember what happened in China. Both Hamilton and Leclerc were disqualified after that race, Hamilton for floor wear, and Leclerc because his car was underweight. It was a painful reminder of how small technical mistakes can destroy a weekend. Since then, Ferrari's engineers have been working hard to fix these issues. They've been focusing on car balance and setup, trying to give the drivers more confidence on track. But critics aren't convinced that's enough. Other teams like McLaren, Red Bull and Mercedes aren't just fine-tuning setups. They're bringing new parts, major upgrades that are making a real difference. And while Ferrari keeps talking about setup work, the gap to the front just isn't closing fast enough. And of course, no conversation about Ferrari's future is complete without mentioning Charles Leclerc. Despite all the rumours swirling around the paddock, Leclerc has been quick to shut them down. When asked about the talk of him possibly leaving Ferrari, his response was short and clear. "I have no idea where that's coming from. I'd rather just ignore it." But even with that, the doubts haven't completely disappeared. It's only natural for people to wonder about his long-term commitment. Ferrari's ongoing struggles, the delays with upgrades, and the constant uncertainty, it all adds up. Leclerc came into Ferrari with the dream of fighting for world championships. So far, that dream feels as far away as ever. Yes, he's had some bright moments this season. His qualifying performance, for example, matches George Russell's with 2 front-row starts. But let's be honest, that's not nearly enough if you want to be in the title fight. Right now, Ferrari's best hope is to focus on the battle for second place in the Constructors' Championship. Their race pace shows they have what it takes to challenge Mercedes, but only if those long-promised upgrades finally arrive and actually work. Without that, even drivers like Leclerc can only do so much. It's a team sport at the end of the day, and right now, the whole team needs to deliver. Looking ahead, everything now comes down to what Ferrari decides to do over the next couple of races. The Austrian Grand Prix could be a critical moment for them. The Red Bull Ring has been a good track for Ferrari in the past. Who could forget Charles Leclerc's win there in 2022? It's a circuit where the car has shown real strength before, and fans will be hoping history repeats itself. But there's a lot of uncertainty hanging over this weekend. Conflicting reports suggest while Ferrari might bring some small upgrades to Austria, the full upgrade package could still be held back for Silverstone. If that's the case, Austria becomes a gamble, going into the race without all the latest parts, hoping the current car can hold its own. But waiting for Silverstone brings its own risks. That's one of the biggest races on the calendar, and arriving there with brand new, untested components is a huge gamble on its own. If those parts don't work as expected, it could be another disaster in front of the world. Fred Vasseur keeps reminding everyone success isn't just about upgrades, it's about execution. How well the car performs, how confident the drivers feel, how the team operates under pressure, that's what really makes the difference. But even the best execution can only go so far if the car itself isn't strong enough. And that's exactly why Lewis Hamilton keeps pushing for change behind the scenes. He knows better than anyone Ferrari's problems won't be solved overnight. But unless they start making the right moves now, the long-term success he's hoping for might stay out of reach. So the big question remains, will these Ferrari upgrades actually change the game, or is it just another round of promises from Maranello that leave fans disappointed? Right now, there's hope, but there's also plenty of doubt. The clock is ticking, the rivals are moving forward, and Ferrari needs to prove they can do the same. With Austria and Silverstone coming up, we won't have to wait long to see the truth. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Ferrari will finally step up and deliver, or do you think this season is already slipping away? I'd love to hear what real F1 fans like you think about all of this.